Measure for Measure by Shakespeare, and this section that you see on my screen, from Thee Even Thy Virtue, is asked in UGC NET June 2025 exam, and it was a poetry comprehension that has been asked in the exam. So I am going to ask ChatGPT, that I have already asked, to explain it line by line to me, and also I have asked it to give me the meaning of those words that is not, famous in Indian English or English, basically, not in modern use. Okay, so let's go and first read the poem. So the poem is, From thee, even from thy virtue. What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the tempted? Who sins most, huh? Not she, nor doth she tempt, but it is I, that lying by the violent in the sun, do as the carrion does, not as the flower, corrupt with virtuous season. Can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than women's lightness, having waste ground enough? Shall we desire to raise the century and pitch our evils there? O fie, fie, fie! What dost thou, or what art thou, Angelo? Dost thou desire her folly, for those things that make her good? Oh, let her brother leave. Thieves for their robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What do I love her, than that I desire to hear her speak again, and feast upon her eyes? What is it I dream on, O cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints dost bait thy hook? Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on. To sin is loving virtue, never could this trumpet, with all her double vigour, art, and nature, once stir my tempter. But this virtuous maid subdues me quite, even till now. When men were found, I smiled and wondered how. So he basically, I didn't understand what the speaker wants to say and who is speaking in this line. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, see, so it has first given us line by line an explanation, and that's why I love it sometimes, because when it comes to short poems, and it gives a basic, it gives a good explanation. And let's go on and dive into it. Okay, so first line is, From thee, even from thy virtue. Okay, let me tell you, I know some of the words that like thee and thy and thou. So for here, thee means you, and thy means your. Okay, so from thee, even from thy virtue, that means from you. There is a character Isabella in Measure for Measure, and uh, the speaker, the lover of Isabella, is saying this these lines, and see, let's see what he actually saying. He's actually saying, From thee, even from thy virtue, from you, Isabella, even from your goodness and chastity itself, I feel temptation arising. What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? What is happening to me? Is this her fault for being so virtuous and beautiful? Or is it my fault for desiring her? The tempter or the tempted? Who sins most, huh? Who is more guilty of sin, the one who tempts or the one who is tempted? He wonders, but immediately realizes it's him who is actually tempting. Not she, nor doth she tempt, but it is I. Basically, he is understanding that she is not tempting him, but it is actually he himself who is trying to be tempted. No, not her. She does not tempt me. It's I myself who falls into corruption. That lying by the violent in the sun, do as the carrion does not as the flower. Okay, so carrion here is the word for dead body. Okay, so like a dead body lying beside a beautiful violet in the sun, I rot and stink wild while the flower remains pure. I mean, here the speaker actually saying that the lady to whom he is around admiring is sitting somewhere in the violet light of the sun, maybe, and lying by the boiler in the sun. Yeah, maybe the light, it is talking, he's talking about the light, and she is lying in the sun like a dead body who's not moving at all. And do as the carrion does, not as the flower. I wrote and stink. And he is basically trying to tell about himself that he is someone who actually stink, and he is rotten, and he's not like a pure flower. I mean, maybe it is him. Probably, I think it can be possible that he is actually lying like a dead body and stinking and rotting, and maybe she. It is not her who is lying in the sun, but it is him. Corrupt with virtuous season. I corrupt myself even in the presence of virtue and goodness. And he thinks that she is that much virtuous that even he is only at looking at her, he is being corrupted, and he is actually trying to corrupt himself. Okay, so this is something very interesting about Shakespeare. He makes a lot of meaning in his poetry, and I really not able to sometimes understand his poetry. But let's go on and see what is the interpretation of ChatGPT here. Okay, so in next line he says, can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than women's lightness? Can it be that a woman's modesty and chastity can stir our desire more dangerously than a woman's looseness or wantonness? Here he basically asking, is it that possible that a modesty of women or the chastity of women can make someone's desire corrupt or make someone do something bad? Or I mean, is it possible that a women's beauty and virtue can let people do something wrong and something maybe something good as well? But let's see what he says in next lines. Having waste good ground enough, having waste ground enough, shall we desire to raise the century and pitch our evils there, when there are plenty of waste ground available? Why do we desire to destroy a holy sanctuary and put our sins there? Basically, here he is using the metaphor like waste ground is for the women who are loose, and holy sanctuary for the Isabella's chastity. Basically, he is trying to say here that if there are a lot of women, and basically you can say that there are a lot of women who has not modest. Okay, and we can use them for our evil things. And why to make I mean, why to corrupt a woman who is actually modest and virtuous? Why to corrupt her beauty? So he is saying something like that here, and doesn't want to corrupt the chastity of Isabella. Oh, five, five, five. And here, while thinking about Isabella and about his things, he says to himself that shame, shame, shame on me. Okay, he is basically trying to make himself feel that whatever you are thinking is very bad, and shame on you. You should not think about her like this, and you should not make I mean, you should not think anything bad about Isabella, because she is very modest, and she has chastity in herself, and you can't destroy her chastity. Okay, so in his next line he says, what dost thou, or what art thou, Angelo? What are you doing, Angelo? What kind of man are you becoming? Okay, so here we get the name of the guy who is talking to himself uh, for about Isabella, and he is Angelo. Okay, so he is talking to himself, and he is saying, what kind of man you are becoming, Angelo? Dost thou desire her folly for those things that make her good? Do you, now he is asking, do you preservedly desire her precisely because she is good and virtuous? that he's asking basically, why do you desire her? Why? Okay. Oh, let her brother leave. Oh, let Claudio leave. And now he says that, okay, uh, Claudio is basically his enemy and he actually wants him to live now. Okay. Oh, let Claudio leave. He wishes he could make the simple decision without corruption. Thieves for their robbery have authority. When judges steal themselves, here he says, if judges who should enforce justice commit crimes themselves, then even thieves gain moral authority over them. Right? अगर मैं ही कुछ गलत कर रही हूँ तो why would I, if being a judge, if I'm doing any something wrong, then how can I make sure that other people um in my area will not do something wrong, and why they will be not corrupted? Okay, so he's thinking like that. Why do I love her, that I desire to hear her speak again and feast upon her eyes? So now he's asking, what do I love her, not why. I made a mistake while reading it. Okay, so do I love her? Do I actually love her? And I long to hear her voice again and to gaze endlessly into her eyes. Now he's asking that what is the thing that he actually love about her, and why is he actually thinking about her too much? Is it that he just want to hear her voice again, or to just connect his eye contact and make an eye contact with her endlessly and for a longer period of time? What isn't I dream on? What am I dreaming of? Now he is actually shocked because of his own thoughts, and why he is dreaming about Isabella. What is he thinking about? Like the whole time he is thinking about Isabella, and he is thinking about what should I do, and how should I do, why I'm doing it, and why I'm not. I mean, the look at this, when a person actually think about something like maybe you have indulged into some fight, and after coming from that fight you too have some kinds of thoughts going on into yourself, into your mind, that I should have said that, I should have told him that, I could have done that. And I mean, a lot of things going on in your mind. And here you can see that how beautifully Shakespeare has described the thoughts of Angelo. Like he is actually, I mean, actually experiencing all those things that a human actually does. So that's why people says that Shakespeare is something and a great and greatest poet of all time. So you can see how beautifully he has portrayed the thoughts of Angelo here in the poem, right? Okay, so oh cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints those bait thy hook. Oh clever devil, Satan here is used, the devil word is used for Satan, of course, and you use holiness itself as bait to tempt and corrupt the holy. Now here, not only for Satan, he is actually calling himself the enemy. I mean, his thoughts are the enemy of himself right now, because the thoughts that actually thinking about her to make corrupt and to be with her is actually trying to make sure, I mean, Angelo is trying to tell himself that you are a evil, you are an enemy, and you should not make something wrong to her, you should not corrupt the virtuous lady. Okay, so here he is talking about this thing, and then he says, most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on to sin in loving virtue. The most dangerous temptation is when we sin by loving virtue itself. And here he says that the most dangerous temptation, the most dangerous thing is when we sin by loving virtue itself. Lusting, that means the purity of love. He is actually want to get indulged into the pure love, but he is not getting into the purity, but he is actually thinking about corrupting her and about the lust that he is emerging in himself. he is trying to make sure that he does not corrupt, and he can control his lust here. Never could the strumpet, with all her double vigor, art and nature, once stir my temper. Okay, so here he says that trumpet are basically prostitute, that no prostitute, no matter how seductive by nature or by art, could even stir my desire. Here he says that he already said in the earlier lines that there are a lot of people, a lot of females are available in the world. Why to cut up the holy and Isabella's chastity, right? And now he is saying that even if I go to any prostitute, even if I go to any women, any other women, they can't make sure that they can't let him to forget Isabella, and they can't make his lust, I mean the end of his lust, and to forget Isabella and about her beauty. But this virtuous maid subdues me quite. But this, I mean, Isabella here, this virtuous maid is Isabella, and she has conquered the Angelo here, and he is talking about it now. Even till now, when men were fond, I smiled and wondered how. Now he's saying, until now, when I saw other men falling in love, I just smile and then wonder why. Now I finally understand. Now he is actually in love, and he is telling that yes, now I understand why a man, when they fall in love, smiles without any reason, and why they wonder here and there. And now when he is in love, now he finally understands what actually happens to them. So I have asked about some archaic and less common words that are used in modern English, and it has given here. And now let's talk about the basic summary, and then we also ask ChatGPT to answer the questions that I have drawn in my exam, and let's see what are the answers I will get. Okay, so let's go on and first ask for the summary. Okay, okay, give me a short summary. Give me a short summary. Okay, so Angelo admits that Isabella is not tempting him. It is his own corruption that makes him lust after her. He compares himself to rotten flesh lying beside a pure flower. He wonders why a woman's modesty excites a stronger desire than looseness. Okay, and why men would rather destroy something sacred. Okay, basically he is trying, overall, by reading the poem, I also actually understand this, that he is actually trying to convince himself that he should not go and destroy someone's holiness and chastity because of his own lust. He is actually in love with the women, and that's why he's thinking of her, and that's why he is also trying to make sure that he can control his desires now. Okay, he realizes that when judges, that means he is the superior one there, at the place where Isabella lives, where he lives, and he is the superior one there. If he corrupts himself, then why will other not do it, right? They will also do it the same, and they will also subdue others, right? And they can also take advantage of Isabella. So now he finally understand what is the meaning of love, and trying to make sure that that how he can how he can control his desire of his lust. Okay, and now he's trying to understand basically that he is in love. Okay, so the question that has asked been in my exam is, what emotion is the speaker feeling at the end of the passage? And let's ask this question from ChatGPT. Okay, what emotion is the speaker feeling at the end of the passage? And the options are pride and joy, 2 indifference, 3 confusion and shame, and 4 joy only. Basically I have given the answer of pride and joy, but it is wrong answer, and let's see what is the answer according to ChatGPT, it is 3, confusion and shame. And that's true that he is actually confused, and he is shameful that he is thinking to lose and lose the chastity of Isabella, and to steal it and to corrupt her, right? And the second question was that what internal conflict does the speaker express? And the answer was a struggle between his virtue and lust. It was true, it was correct, that I have done in my exam. And the next one is, according to the speaker, how does temptation disguise itself? Now the answer is as a virtue, and this is also correct on my part. And the next one is, what kind of temptation does the speaker say is the most dangerous? This answer is also wrong. I mean, the question is also wrong, and the answer is that which urges one to sin in loving virtue. Okay. And the next one is, this was wrong basically. And let's see the line that has given, thieves for their robbery have authority, when judges steal themselves, imply what? Okay, society is just, theft is always punishable, corruption among judges is hypocritical, and judges are above law. So I have given the answer that corruption among judges is hypocritical. And now according to me, it should be, society is just, theft is always punishable, judges are above law. Theft is always punishable. I will go for the second one. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay. Thieves for their robbery have authority, when judges steal themselves, imply what? Options are: 1, society is just; 2, theft is always punishable; 3, corruption among judges is hypocritical; 4, judges are above law. Let's see what ChatGPT gives us as the answer. And here it comes. And I mean, um, UGC net has made it wrong, and I got a deduction of marks because of it, and they haven't changed it, so I can't tell. But ChatGPT also says that the answer is 3, corruption among judges is hypocritical. So according to it, my answer is right, but according to ChatGPT, my answer is wrong. So let's see what UGC net has given as the answer. And let's see, and let's check it out. Okay. And I have the answer key here. And the question ID is 8923. So I'm going to check it out. 8923. Okay, so it is 3, so it should be correct. Why I have ugh, I mean, it is correct. Oh, okay, it was my mistake that I have made it wrong, and it is actually correct. So yes, this is correct. And this is the end of the poem. So let's see if you like this video, and if you like it, please do like, share and subscribe to your friends. And I'm going to upload more videos on such topics, and I am going to practice my English speaking here as well, so you can join me while I'm practicing, while I'm reading. You can also practice with me, and you can also study with me for UGC and December 2025 exam. Yes, go on. And yes, please do like, share and subscribe to my video.